I waited for a bit, but let's get into it. I just need to actually... Okay, there we go. I popped my taskbar from the bottom, so now I can actually control this. Oh, don't move the camera. So let's go over the matchups. Once again, it's the same as the exact last cast that was uploaded. Vladimir against Garen top. The lane that in theory favors Garen, but in practice is never won by the Garen. Ooh, is this an early cheeky invade? It does appear to be very aggressive positioning. They're going in, but they're going in on top of a ward. This entire activity is discovered. Oh no. Is red team gonna try anything? Probably not. They're just gonna opt to walk away. But Zac against Rengar jungle, very interesting. Rumble Fizz mid. Aphelios Bard against Vayne and Swain. A rhyming bot lane for a red team. Rengar, Vladimir, and Fizz. 3 extremely terrifying champions for an Aphelios to face. Aphelios is probably the closest range ADC that's currently in the game. Most of his weapons want him to be as point blank as humanly possible. It's literally more. It's not just Chakram, because Flamethrower requires the enemy to essentially be lining up in front of you. You want to be a bit closer for that. The pistol Q range is tiny and actually encourages you to get in their face. Calibrum is really the only weapon Aphelios can safely spam at range. Even the cannon at 550 range is really just a scuffed Jinx rocket launcher at that range. A lot of his kit is not conducive to kiting. It depends on the weapon setup, and most times you want to be decently close to the enemy to output the most damage. But when 3 members on red team are very proficient at killing off ADCs against a champion like Aphelios, it's going to require some very good positioning on the Aphelios' part to not die to the continued aggression that red team can pour out here. Especially when there's Swain and a Vayne. If there's any CC at all that ever lands on the Aphelios, granted there's not a lot that can actually go with the Swain aside from his own root. The only other thing that could trigger a pullback would be either a stunning condemn or maybe just a mid-flight condemn, or a Fitz Shark that pops him up. Or maybe like a Rengar Empowered E. But honestly, like the list of things that can trigger the Swain pullback is very small at best. But still, it takes one catch on the Swain to essentially kill off this Aphelios, especially with a team comp like red teams. But we look back towards blue team's team comp. You have a pretty solid frontlining core. Rumble can decently frontline and output a ton of damage. Zac is just a frontline menace. Extremely disruptive tank there that can just jump into the backline and mess stuff up. However, against the Vayne, that's not the easiest thing for a Zac to do, but still, he can be very proficient at a peeling tank as well. Bard, one of the most protective supports you could probably hope for. The ability to stasis away any incoming threats. Oh, speaking of incoming threats, here's one now. The Bard has to ditch the Aphelios here. There's no chance. First blood gets picked up by the Rengar. Fizz going for a dive. Luckily only tanking one shot. Could have gone much, much worse for him. That ping is me. Do not be confused. Somebody message me. Garen can definitely dive into the back. Like Garen can pop a Vayne, and so can the Zac. Like they have sufficient backline diving capabilities and sufficient team fighting capabilities, because these are some solid team fighting tanks as well as a Rumble. The problem is, if they want to win this game and most of their damage is coming from their AD carry, they need to play protection detail for the most part. Oh, Rengar, is he gonna greed for the Zac kill? He's not even gonna get it. Ignite is burning down. One more take will do it, but no. He will walk away with his life. Very close fight there. Zac does get blobbed in the enemy jungle. It was looking hairy for a while, but here comes the Swain. He flashed in and he yanks Zac back. No more passive. He's gonna die. 2-0 for a red team. Very good early game. so far. And Garen, this lane is really not favorable for Garen. Like on paper it should be, because you can silence Vlad and kind of spin him out. But in reality, Vladimir has the tools to keep a Garen at bay. And it's a lane that Vladimir can actually pretty comfortably farm up in. And once the Vlad gets going, like past level 10, he can turn the tables on Garen, start killing him. Even if a Garen builds a Visage, even if he has Adaptive Helm or something, it's generally not enough, I want to say, to stop the Vladimir. I've been on both sides of this matchup, and I wish I was the Vlad both times. Even the time I was Vlad, I wish I was Vlad even more. It doesn't really make sense, but it did happen. The early game farm is going to be kind of rough, but Vladimir is actually catching up to it quite a bit. Like, he's not falling appreciably behind, which is amazing for him. And here comes the Rengar. He's only level 4. Hemoplague does go on the Garen, so that's a lot more damage than he bargained for. He has to flash away. Hemoplague pops, but no death. However, Garen does blow his flash there in that engagement. Rengar level 4. That was a very daring dive. Garen could have very easily turned the tables and just killed him. But that didn't happen. And now we look back at mid lane. Fizz is just getting toasted by the flamethrower. He's not winning these trades because he can't stand the damage. But the Shark lands, and here comes the Rengar. The Bola does land. Equalizer comes out, but it's not enough. The slow is there. Zac coming in to save the day. And Rumble is actually perfectly fine. But can Zac fight it out here? Rumble cannot rejoin. There's no Equalizer up anymore. No death. But Zac flying in like a superhero, saving the Rumble's life from what was essentially a Rengar that all but secured a kill, honestly. Oh, but he's gonna run face first into a Swain. And Vayne is actually not there. Rengar actually went back to his camp as well, so now the Swain's being caught out. He's actually all alone. Fizz is not in place to help him out. The Ignite will take him down. Bard claims that kill. First one on the board for blue team. And they secure this pink ward, sending Rumble back to lane. Fizz and Rumble around the same amount of health right now, and they're both gonna opt to stay. Rengar is gonna go back to jungling. He's not gonna plan for any ganks until he hits level 6 from here. Chakram is now the next weapon in rotation. Zac comes in for the dive. The knockup does find the Vayne, and the ultimate is real. Bard picks up that kill. 2-0-0 for the Bard. Both kills from blue team are on the support. Not the best kill distribution you can hope for, but it gets the job done for the most part. And Garen's just being kited out. He can't catch up to Phase Rush with just the decisive strike speed. He needs something more. He needs a bigger oomph to punch through this lane that he just doesn't have. They do secure the Drake. The Shark finds the Zac. Or Rumble, I guess. No, Bard. One of them. I already forgot. I have a goldfish memory. But it doesn't actually do anything of consequence. Blue team walks away with the first Drake of the game. Dead even game so far. Although, to be perfectly honest, red team scales way better. Actually, do they? Now I don't know. On paper, Swain does outscale the Bard. On paper, like this is a very heavily on paper. Vayne outscales Aphelios, but in reality, it's the other way around. Vladimir is going to be terrifying late game. People always talk up how terrifying a Vladimir is around the late game, and believe me, it's all true. He's just obscene. Oh my god, it's just 30. You can't win a game against Vladimir when he gets really going. A 6 items threat. Rengar late game is not going to be the most proficient, especially with a Bard as protection detail. But it's always Aphelios. There's always an opportunity to kill Aphelios at all stages of the game. He does trade that back for being extremely powerful once he actually gets going. But he does need a good amount of peel to function here. There's just so much backline threat on red team. That's a very terrifying thing to face up against. Rumble is going to be toasted up. Equalizer not enough. Rengar even commits his ultimate to get that kill. His Bone Tooth necklace is 2 stacks now, I believe. Unless he got both. No, it's 2 stacks. Never mind. His first kill was on Aphelios, and Rumble only has 1 death. What am I thinking? Zac does come to this lane to try to clear it. Fizz is actually completely ignoring him. He's walking up. He wants this plate. He does get the plate, but the Urchin Strike gets interrupted. You have to commit the Playful Trickster to get out, and he does. Nothing bad has happened. Charge! And he's not gonna get it. This song and dance will continue forever. Garen does not have the tools to catch up to a Vlad. Not even with the Phage Sweep. But like, he could even hit a minion before popping Q, and he still won't catch up to something that's something like a Vlad. Because it's very easy for a Vlad to proc Phase Rush onto the Garen. You just auto him Q and tap your E. And boom, instant Phase Rush. And that allows you to actually outrun Decisive Strike. Which is very crazy how it works, but Chemo Plague even gets committed. It's not going to do anything here, but it is going to give Vlad a mini wave to play with. Rengar is here. He's going to look for the Garen. Oh, that's a nice little juke. Garen's not even going to try to turn on him. And here comes a Rengar. He's level 7. He's 2 levels below the Garen, but he has a giant vampire behind him helping out. Garen can't find the angle here. They're just going to let the jungler go. But Fizz has made his way up here as well. Maybe a 1v3. They can stand a better chance. Rengar pops his own ultimate. They're going hard. Fizz is here. Garen has to flash away, but it's completely futile. He gets dropped by the Fizz. 3rd kill for the Fizz this game. Red team then summons Rift Herald top. This is a 3-man push. Where is the response from mid lane? Rumble is still pushing mid. This top tower, not long for the world. Oh my gosh, there's going to be so much damage done. It's going to be obscene. The root goes onto the Vayne. The slows are being laid down. Rumble is coming down for it again. The equalizer drops. He does burn down the Vayne. Bard has to try to run away. The tower shot will not kill him. And the Swain, 3rd form, not enough to actually kill anyone. The teleport help has arrived in the Fizz. The shark goes wide. Zac falls to critical health, but is not going to die. Red team does have such a healthy goalie still. And it's all from this top plate, I'm pretty sure. They're going to get first turret off this as well. They do get it. Just from the plate advantage, they've accrued so much. The shining beacon of hope for blue team is that bot lane is winning decisively. However, the shining, well, I guess the dimmest bleakness. I ran out of words. The dimmest bleakness for them is also that the bot lane is the one that's ahead, when there's still so many scary backlane threats that needs to be contended with. Fizz is tier 2 boost on. Rumble just now has Proto Belt. Fizz can just start roaming now with superior movement speed and mobility. He can just do very bad things with the Aphelios. He's definitely strong enough to. He has the revolver. He has the penetration on his boots. And the Aphelios is not strong enough to walk away yet. He doesn't have tier 2 boost on. He needs more movement speed. It's honestly low-key the best thing you can do to get away from bad situations. More speed. Vladimir has hit that dreaded level 10. He does have the correct runes, right? Every Vladimir runs the same rune set. Yep, he does. What's the CDR at? Should be 42% or 43%. Oh, equalizer gets dropped. Swain dies. But I'm going to check his CDR here real quick. He is sitting at 31%. Oh, right, because he skipped Codex. He skipped Codex to build the Arm Guard first. Which honestly you don't need. Like, Garen can't threaten you here. Just finish your Codex, get an Hourglass, you're fine. Like a stopwatch, you're fine. Wayne is going to be the first victim here. Dragon is still alive though. They do find a bounce onto the Rengar. Zac does have blob, so he's throwing his life away for this. Fizz is the last victim here. Can he walk away? Blue team picks up a very decisive 3-0 fight, starting with that Swain. And now they're going to turn around for the Drake. They're going to secure the 2nd Drake of the game. It's all theirs, and the game is going to be sent into a rift from here on. Oh, Judgment will do it. No, it won't. Oh, no. Oh, that's not the way you want to die, Garen. And then he does die. Oh, he's going for not Wit's End first. He's pigeonholing himself into Triforce. Okay, well, Triforce is a spectacular item on Garen. This isn't the Triforce first game. You need that Wit's End to stay in lane against the Vladimir here. You can go back to Triforce later if you want, but honestly, you can just ditch Triforce this game and just go for Wit's End and then build normally from there. It's honestly gonna serve you better too. This Triforce is gonna make him a lot squishier against some similar backline threats. It's gonna make him squishier against Fizz, gonna make him way squishier against Vlad. Wit's End is the critical amount of sustain he actually needs. But you know, he's opted out of it. Oh, Aphelios gets pulled in. That's a very dead Aphelios. But not before Bard takes one back onto the Vayne. Most of that damage was landed by the AD carry there. But Bard, regardless, takes that kill. 3-0 and 4. He's actually got quite an impressive scoreline in the game where his other lanes are kind of feeding their brains out in a bit. Although their scorelines wouldn't exactly show how bad they're actually doing, but these lanes are not exactly as even as the scoreline would imply. The pressure is definitely favoring red team here. Rengar does jump to the Bard. He's going to give him the first death of the game. He's not careful. Bard portals away, so he's totally fine. Now Rengar fighting a Rumble in the brush. Rumble does turn on him with the flamethrower. The elastic slingshot will miss, but can he grab the two-man slam? He cannot. Rengar still has to try to run away. He hops on the Scuttle Crab, but that actually got him closer to blue team, so he's going to die to the Rumble. No reprieve for the Rengar. He finds the second death of the game. And now Garen trades one back onto the top tower, and now he has to fight out with the Vladimir. That's so scary. Vladimir's not going to die to Garen, but this is a huge fight. The huge amount of CC landing. Bard dies to the Fizz. The perfect KDA has been ruined. And now Fizz is going onto the Zac. Zac does actually kill him off first. He gets the shutdown, but Fizz takes it back. Even exchange, surprisingly, even though that looked very favorable to start with for the red team. And Garen's gonna jump face first into the Vlad. He's not winning these trades and he's still trying. The Judgment is not even clipping him. He's taking no damage. Silence on the Ties of Blood. Garen finally wises up and calls it off. But calling this gank off is not gonna be enough. He wants more! What are you doing? The Judgment get not Judgment. Demacian Justice gets cancelled several times, but he finally lands it. He actually gets the kill onto the Vladimir, but now he's being chased down by the Rengar. Meanwhile, mid lane, Rumble's diving onto the Swain. That's a support Swain. He pops his hourglass. He's totally fine. And Rumble's taking tower shots. Rengar pops it off to turn it on, and he does get it. He doesn't die to the return damage. Bot lane is under siege. The Demolish Bard is gonna finish. One hit. Yeah, that will do it. The tower will not die, but it takes a hefty chunk. I couldn't talk towards there. I blame the Garen for turning my brain off with that flash. Granted, it worked out for him, but man, is that not a move you want to run. He's actually going for a standard build, which I highly discourage from. In fact, not finishing your Merc Trez this game over getting a Zeal? That is so greedy. He has no business still building squishy like that. Oh, the Equalizer will try to turn it, but all of the bot lane for blue team has actually died. Rumble and Zac jump in as a two-man, but can they find it? They do find one kill and two. Rumble gets the double. Swain is dead, and so is the Vayne. Fizz is alone. Rumble tanks 2 tower shots. He has to leave it all to the Zac. Zac is getting shot at over and over by the tower. Playful Tricks are back, but he's not going to find damage. Zac is still tanking. He didn't detach the tower aggro, and he just dies. 3 for 2. It might be more reinforcements are coming from red team. Rengar's on the side. He doesn't have ultimate though. Rumble is probably fine from this position. With those kills, he's actually gotten himself a pretty respectable scoreline. But the question is he strong? There's a mountain to climb still in this game for blue team. Positive or negative skirmishes be damned. This game will slowly slip away from blue team. Very, very slowly, but slip away nonetheless. Vision of Empire not gonna find it. Caliber Mark does land. The cannon does land, and the snare comes in. But here comes the Fizz. They have to run. Aphelios gets latched by the shark. Fizz is gonna jump on him. That's so much damage. Swain comes in and takes up the kill. Fizz getting the easy assassinate onto the Aphelios, who blew all of his protection in the form of Moonlight Vigil with a sniper or cannon onto the Rengar that he doesn't successfully catch. Dragon is going to be started up by the red team, and Garen is back at it. He wants to kill this flag. He does have the ultimate. It might kill him from here. No, the sword lands, but it leaves him at dot health. That tiny amount of healing from the transfuse actually saved him, as dumb as that sounds. Mountain Drake number 1 goes to red team. No contest possible from blue. They're just going to let it go. And now Zac is wandering back and forth, not knowing where to go in life. Hopefully he figures it out. His time is ticking. He does choose to go for the Vayne, but he completely whiffs it. And Vayne walks away scot-free. She is easily the weakest member on red team. Probably the easiest prey as well, but she can still kite around the Zac. Like, Vayne can do that, just in general. Ooh, Fizz is coming. He wants to kill. He gets silenced up. Playful Trickster. Urchin strike back in. Rengar pounces in. This fight is unfair, and Garen's just gonna die again. So Fizz pops out the Zayas, and Garen not gonna find any additional damage. He even committed the Ignite for seemingly no reason, and he's just dead. 1-4 now is the Garen scoreline. He just cannot catch a break this game. Granted, most of the deaths are his fault, but some of them haven't played out in his favor at all. Bard is here. The slow will land. It will not be a stun, but here comes the TP. It's going to be from the Fizz. Vayne is going to die first. And here comes the Fizz to reinforce. He does have the Shark. No, he doesn't have the Shark. And the Feather's in so much trouble. He gets bursted out immediately. Vladimir comes in from the side. Hemoplague lands on the Bard. There's just so much damage coming in. Ties of Blood will secure it. Zac gets blocked up, but Rumble's standing on top of him for protection. And now he's in it as a 1v2. Vladimir is strong. Zac respawns, but he's being tied up by the Rengar. Rengar will kill him off, and Vladimir sucks the Rumble dry. Quadra kill for the Vladimir. All 4 kills going his way. Fizz does get shut down in that fight, but now they just got a way bigger problem on their hands. Garen, not running TP this game, essentially makes that bot skirmish completely undermanned for blue team. It critically started with the AD carry dying because he was being piled on by just way too many threats. Swain jumped on his face, and the Fizz jumped on his face, and the Aphelios just dies. And from there, it was a full retreat from blue team. Rumble came in for a cleanup effort, and he should be thankful he got as many kills as he did, because Vladimir could just come in afterwards and clean house, which is exactly what he did. Went from 1 kill to 2, and he went back and picked up the death cap 23 minutes in. That's 3 completed items. Are you kidding me? He's so strong right now. 3 completed items, 3 super expensive items too. Well, just death cap really, but still, 23 minutes into the game. He does trade it away by not having tier 2 boost on, but look at those items. How can you say no to building those? Fizz is gonna jump onto the Garen. The top diff in this game is just a little bit too much, but doesn't actually matter here. Vladimir is gonna be such a terrifying threat when he actually walks in, but he doesn't really have that movement speed to be able to easily walk into a flank. Is he gonna go for it regardless? He doesn't have the flash. Oh, he does have the flash. Is he gonna go for it? Rengar pops his ultimate. The screams and roars can be heard. Bard portals away. They run away from the Vladimir, and now Vladimir and Rengar are on the same side. There's no flank possible. Blue team is just going to secure the retreat, and they actually grab several towers off this push. Net positive, super net positive for the blue team here. Red team just has to try to chase after them, but Rengar committed his ultimate, and Vladimir could not find that angle for the flank. There was some indecisive movements on his part. He was afraid of jumping into a 1v4, which, to be honest, he has enough damage here to just outright kill 2 people. He shouldn't need to be afraid of jumping in, even if that situation is a 1v4. Because Sanguine Pool and Hourglass will buy him so much time for Rengar and other people to bring him reinforcements. But that little indecisiveness actually cost his team a tower or 2. And blue team so far hasn't really died, though the Shark will bring Bard out of the tunnel, but he retakes it immediately. And now Zac is in the back line. He lashes up the Fizz and stunning him up. Fizz will have to Hourglass in the middle of nowhere. Is their timing correct? No, it's not. He will escape his Playful Trickster, but now Swain is in trouble. He gets rooted up by the cannon and killed off by the Flamethrower. Where's the rest of the team? They're coming in now. Vladimir's behind them, and so is the Rengar. Rengar doesn't have ultimate, but it doesn't matter. The Chemo Plague is massive, and it kills off so many people. Bar Stasis is up to his whole team to try to keep them alive, but the Ties of Blood is huge, and he does it to the whole team. There's just no one left. There's no damage remaining. Rumble is silenced by himself. Rengar has made his way in as well. He doesn't have ultimate, but it's not even close to being a problem. Vladimir gets so many kills. Triple kill for the Vladimir. Zac picks up the last one. Well, not Zac. Rengar picks up the last one. All that remains is Garen, who is solo pushing here on the mid lane. But the rest of the help is coming. They're not going to need it. Vayne is going to kill him off here. Garen needs to try to run away, but Judgment actually slows you down, so you can't be spinning. Vayne flashes after him and gets the ace. That's actually her second kill of the game. Garen is just not useful. He finishes PD, but he's still sitting on brown boots. That is griefing. You can't do that. Tier 2 boots is so good. It is the best item in the game. You cannot afford to skip it until he's not finishing it. He's going for Visage. Brother, sell that Kindle Gem right now. Buy yourself your Merc Chest. For the love of God. Vladimir is just so massive. He's finally realized his potential, just being able to dive into the back of that team. He insta-bought Morelos as well on his back. So that's just extra penetration. He even picked up Waste Staff. He's so close to full build. It's obscene. And he's just going to punch in so much damage here. What can blue team do to stop that? Hex Drinker is basically like a toothpick. It's not going to be enough to protect against that high of damage. Especially looking at how much penetration he's sitting on. Oh, no, he doesn't have Morelos anymore. He sold it for Waste Staff. There we go. That makes way more sense. But that is 40% magic penetration on top of an extra 18 flat. So let's look at the Aphelios MR. Aphelios MR is 66 magic resist. So do some quick math. Once you cut that down by 40%, he's going to have, let's say, approximately 30, well, not 30 something, approximately 40. And that gets cut down again by the Merc Treads, and he's going to fall to below 30 MR. He's going to easily fall into the low 20s or high 10s or high teens range of magic resist. And by that point, you're essentially just taking true damage. Like 19 or so MR, if my very, very quick math is correct, which oftentimes it is not, it's pitiful. Especially against the raw amount of damage that he can output. You need a lot more MR than this. Because just for context, right? Say if you have 80 magic resist, and after getting shredded down by 40%, that becomes 48. Then after getting cut by by Sorcerer Boots, that goes down to 30 MR. 80 MR puts you back at base against this Vladimir. And base MR is very squishy, as many people already know. But Aphelios gets grabbed in the middle of the team fight. There's a Fizz on top of him. Rengar jumps in to complete that kill. Fizz is inside his Hourglass. There's no kill being found out. Vladimir just cleaning house in the back. 3 bodies drop. Rommel has to run away. Scattered and bruised. Garen's trying for a split push. That might be enough to stop them from going for this Baron. But it's just him. Rommel has to go away. He's way too low to fight. Red team is going to go on the Baron regardless. They're going to send Vladimir back home to defend. It's not enough. Garen will walk away with his inhib. Whoa, will he actually? Rommel gets caught up by the Fizz. It's not enough. The shield is not going to be able to save him. Yep. Oh, Rengar does actually die to the Baron, but Swain picks it up from there. Vayne is actually so weak. She can't even kill Baron properly, but it doesn't really matter at this point. So there's the thing about Hex Drinker. When you're sitting against so much magic penetration, the Hex Drinker is not worth it. Like, I know it sounds bad to say that, because let's be honest here, Hex Drinker is a really good item for the early mid game to get you that extra little defense. But here's the 35 MR is nothing. Even before Waste Staff, that gets shredded down by Sorcerer Shoes. It absorbs 230 magic damage, and that's probably the most valuable part of the kit. No one really buys Hex Drinker because they think the 35 MR will save them. People buy Hex Drinker for the 35 MR compounded with the magical damage shield once you fall to a critical amount of health. The problem is, even with this extra shield, Aphelios is essentially working with no more than about 2200 effective health, which is still within easily kill range for a Vladimir's combo. What you really need here is a stopwatch. You need to be able to tide over the time from all of the assassins jumping on you. If Fizz, Vladimir, and Rengar all pile on you at the same time, stopwatch is the only thing that can protect you. We're not even looking at the amount of damage that the Fizz can output here. But against heavy MR reduction on Vladimir's side, it's just not feasible to go for Hex Drinker, because it's not going to be an effective thing to defend you. Fizz, on the other hand, it is going to be enough to at least stave off a little bit of damage from him. He has to try to jump back out, and Rumble is here, but he will trade his life right back towards the Swain. Swain is Golden Bird in the middle of the team, but here comes the Vladimir flank. There's just so much damage. Redemption is going to drop, but it's not enough. Fully charged Tides of Blood kills him off without any way to come back. And Vladimir is just so strong. What's his last item? He's going for another Rod, so that's Spellbinder. Interesting. Now humor me for a second. What if he went Morellonomicon? How much MR is an Aphelios sitting at if this last item was a Morellonomicon instead? Because we're still going to run with the old formula here. I'm going to check his MR as soon as he respawns. But the way this works is that the magic pin gets applied. The 40% flat magic pin gets applied, and then the flat reduction comes in. Or it might be the other way around. Oh, actually, I think it might be the other way around. Let's see. Reduction layers works in flat first. Right. Okay, so it's always flat first for reduction layer, which is a bit more favorable to the Aphelios, but still not great. Not great at all. So let's check the Aphelios' MR while red team kind of throws their lead away by giving everything away for some kills on the blue team. That shouldn't have happened. Okay, so 71 magic resist. The reality here is minus 18. So that's going to put him at 53. And then 53 gets cut down by 40%. So that is going to be about 21.2 MR reduced. So that's going to make him sit at 32. So more or less, Aphelios is still sitting at essentially base magic resist against the Vladimir. Now suppose for a second, Vladimir buys Morelos as his last item. That is going to give him 33 flat penetration, which is going to bring Aphelios down to 39 magic resist. And 39 magic resist getting cut by 40% is going to give him... Hold on, quick math. 15.7. So 33 minus 15.7 is 17.3. If my math is correct. 15.3 magic resist. Half of base MR. You might as well not exist. Honestly. Like, no amount of MR stacking here will actually save him from this Vladimir. Vladimir's only gonna get stronger because he is gathering Storm on top of everything as well. That's just a huge formula. Why is red team surrendering? There's no way you lose this game from here. No way. Like, I refuse to believe that red team can lose this game. What kind of colossal throw? Okay, well, that's a good start. Jesus Christ. No, if you lose this game, I have no words for you. Vladimir can delete Aphelios at a moment's notice. And this Aphelios right now, still no GA, still no stopwatch. Hex Drinker will not do anything against this Vladimir. He may as well have not bought it. And it's such a terrifying thing to contend against when the Vladimir is this far ahead, and there's another backline threat as a Fizz, and there's another one on top of that, because even if by some miracle those two doesn't kill the Aphelios, there's still a Rengar to finish the job. And all the while, the rest of the blue team, they're all doing their own thing in the side, but Swain gets caught out. He's gonna get instantly deleted, but Hemoplague lands on so many people in the back. Vladimir is so healthy still, he's getting reduced by Morello, but it's not even gonna matter here. Wayne is gonna be the next victim here. There's so much pile up coming in. Aphelios jumps in face first, but the Vladimir can suck him dry, but he doesn't get it. Zac jumps onto him. The Bardol catches him out, but Rengar comes in to finish the job. Aphelios does die, and now do they have damage left to kill him off? Garen is still the last person that can even do any damage. Wayne has to run away, but 2-8, she's so low. The Bard is finishing her off. Triple kill for the Zac. They somehow do it. They won the team fight. But they lose their carries. Mid lane and ADC down. Can they actually have enough damage to come through here? They're going to go for this GG push. The respawn timers are so long. This fight started out with Swain dying instantly. And Vladimir just can't find the correct target. He got pinned backwards. And the Felios jumping in couldn't even kill him. What the heck? How did you lose this? Why bother calculating anything when you can just throw like that? Just toss your calculators out the windows, lads. It doesn't even matter.